Dear student, welcome to this introductory session for keyword-driven automation framework development. Thank you for the enrollment. Let's get started. So in this session, we will see some theoretical concepts and aspects of this automation framework development, and we will proceed to the next session. Now, if you wish, you can directly continue to the subsequent sessions for the actual programming and other parts. So in the demo session, we have seen that there is a product or a service which has a lot of internal modules and internal databases. So the expectation from a QA is basically to do front end or a GUI testing using browser or desktop application, and sometimes an API testing and as well as database testing as per the business requirement. So the typical GUI testing needs are web browser and desktop application. And for database and for API, again, there are different requirements. So what is an automation framework? And if you see this set of questions, so we will do an introduction, what is an automation framework, and we will continue with the subsequent questions. Now, what is an automation framework and why do we need an automation framework? This is a very important question and most of the times also asked in an interview. So a general answer would be a framework is an organized way to perform one or multiple tasks. And that's it. There's nothing more than that. But little expansion of that topic or that particular concept, a framework is a mechanism to write and maintain software code in a certain manner. We have different ways to write a software code, and each way of writing fits for a particular business requirement. So automation framework also is a business requirement and it is a mechanism to write and maintain the software code. A framework provides a way to execute automation code. So we have different mechanism how we can pass different parameters and how do we execute the code. We have Maven, we have JUnit, we have TestNG and other things. So we will see how to do that. It is a place for implementation of desired concepts with coding. So we have different aspects of automation. For example, database automation, Selenium GUI automation, API automation. So in this framework, we can address those requirements by implementing certain Java classes and so on. It is needed to address automation needs for one or multiple business purposes, for example, GUI, API, database, and so on. Also, it is a measure to have. Also, I am assuming that you have a basic understanding of how to write a Java code, some understanding of how JUnit or TestNG works, and a tool called as Maven. If you do not worry. I will try to address and I will confirm. I will show you how to do it. So let's get started. Yes, so a basic framework requirement is like this. Now you might ask like, what is this? What is this figure? So let's see. Technically, these are the different attributes and offering our expectations. So let's go through one by one. Selenium support, of course, the framework should have actionable Java code so that we can do Selenium related actions. We should have taken screenshot for whatever business requirement. Code reusability is a very good concept here, wherein we write the code once and we reuse it based on the different actions or keywords what we get in an Excel from the user. Error handling, exception handling, of course, if one of the step is failed, that does not mean that further automation should break. So we have to execute multiple test cases or scenarios or steps. So we need to have robust error handling and exception recovery mechanism. Robustness, rerunning the failed test cases. So we should have a mechanism wherein if a particular test case fails, it should be repeated a number of times. And believe me, this everything is possible, should be possible by giving input from an Excel and not from the Java code. Reporting, we will see simple Excel file reporting wherein it will dump the test results for a particular test case, test step, pass or fail. And if it fails, we will see how to log the exception in the Excel and the exception code stack. And we will also see how to put a screenshot in the Excel. Selenium grid support is a typical requirement. So we will have to just interfere with the basic URL, what we feed to the web driver and so on. We will also see some basic concept of desktop automation using Java robot class, how to do logging, effective logging, so that automation code when it executes, we should be able to analyze the logs. Then file handling. So apart from Excel file handling, if there are other input data which is coming from different files, so we will see that. We will also look into database automation. So the actual database automation will have to be actually using Java code, but which database has to be connected and what are the parameters to be required, what is the select query and all that we can pass using an Excel. We will see assertions for a particular test case requirement or a particular business scenario, assertions, how it can be done. Report sending via email. So there are a lot of libraries using which you can connect to your Gmail programmatically and send an email. Then how the modules should be designed, how it can be designed as a loosely coupled modules, how the framework is easy to understand, and how it can be easily expandable and how it can be scalable. We will see how a DevOps support can be added. So basically, it's a Java plus Maven code. So Maven has some utilities wherein you just have to run the Maven code from Jenkins or some kind of a tool, and the automation will be run. Of course, page object model, how it can be done using an Excel, we will see. And as I've said already, simplicity and reusability. So once the automation code is ready, any manual QA person can just reuse the same automation code. So basically, the person has to just play with the Excel input file, the steps it has to control, and so on. So that is the simplicity and reusability. So as we discussed in the demo, there are different automation frameworks which are solving different business requirement, and all are good. But the keyword driven framework really stands out in the sense that it has to be developed once and it can be maintained for a longer time, and it can be reused n number of times by n number of people independently, as well as maintaining, as well as writing the test cases using this keyword driven framework is very easy. uh, the person who is writing the test cases, who is going to execute those, need not to have any programming knowledge. So that is why this is preferred to be given to a manual QA person, and automation can be developed. So we will develop the automation framework using Maven JUnit, as well as we will also replicate the same for Maven and TestNG. So we will do the same thing for the desktop automation using robot AWT library. So what is the keyword? What are the different actions, and uh, how we can group those actions, and we can write the particular Java code for those actions in a separate Java class that we will see in the subsequent session. So let's continue this next session in another part. Thank you.